people are like, don't marry him, and like, what?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, leave him already. Leave. I'm like, whoa, chill. You don't know the relationship.
Welcome to the TLDR channel. Every week we dive deep into different Reddit threads to bring you the best and worst Reddit has to offer.
Welcome to the TLDR channel. Today's topic is inheritance. Take it away, Ketsy.
Post story 1. Gotta keep my voice up, guys. Am I the asshole for embarrassing my fiance by saying that just because we are getting married does not entitle him to my inheritance? Post, I, 32 female, recently got engaged to my partner, 35 male. Just a year ago, as of right now, we have been together 5 years, and our wedding is planned for May 2025. I am just going to get straight to it. Unfortunately, only a couple of weeks after our engagement, my Nana passed away. The reason for it, I will not disclose. My Nana and Grandpa worked extremely hard throughout their lives and were very successful, educated, and had high-paying jobs. They were very restricted on spending money when they were younger, and so they lived their elderly lives a lot because of it. Worth noting, my grandpa is very, very, very smart, and he's good with money and investments. So when I say lots, I do mean lots. My Nana wrote a hugely generous sum of money into her will that will be inherited by me, my brother, and my 3 cousins. Even after the money was divided up, there was still thousands to each of our names.
Wow.
I also won't disclose the exact amount. When I heard the news, I told my fiancé, and he was incredibly overjoyed. Much more than I expected him to be. I went along with it and shrugged it off until later in the day I heard him on the game with his mate saying, I can pay my credit card off with the money, mate. Oh, I guess they're money, mate. The Australian, maybe. I lost my spot. We can finally get the boys' holidays we've been planning, eh? And laughing. I walked into the room and asked, what money? And he immediately looked at me funny and said, from your nan, babe. Or probably British. For that sounds more like a UK thing.
Yeah.
I walked into the room and asked, forget that. I immediately exploded on him saying, you won't be paying anything off without my permission, and there most certainly will not be no boys' holiday. It's not your money to have. It's written to me from my Nana. It's not for you. We had a shouting match, and I left the room upset. He later got off the game and found me in the kitchen when he scolded me again and said, we are getting married and you will become my financial burden. Any money you take is also mine. It was incredibly selfish of you to make such a fool out of me in front of my friends and giving them false hope of a holiday. Again, worth noting, it wasn't me who said anything about a holiday and where I became financial burden. I don't know. And where I became a financial burden, I don't know, considering I am in a very good job and don't want children. Mm-hmm. I left the house without saying a word, and I'm typing this at my friend's house. Am I the asshole? Oh, and there's an edit to add on to what you said. Okay. Reread it and realized I forgot to mention that this incident was literally just happened. The reason my fiance only just found out is because until now, even I didn't know if the money was coming to me or not due to court.
The TLDR version of that is 32 female, recently got engaged, inherited a generous sum of her Nana's will, which has caused conflict with her fiancé, 35 male, who expected to benefit from it and saw it as joint money. He expressed entitlement to it and labeled her selfish for not sharing. She left the house shortly after a heated argument and is questioning if she is at fault. Alrighty, so do you want to discuss first our thoughts?
Sure. I think this was pretty cut and dry. I mean, since I didn't know the story going beforehand, money is a difficult topic, especially with a married couple. Well, they're not even married yet, so definitely red flags for him assuming that, one, he's like, oh, I can pay off all my credit cards now, and we're going on a vacation, boys. Now we can go on vacation. Like, whoa, what the heck? Be like, that should definitely be red flags for her. I think that, technically, and I don't know the laws of wherever they are, the UK or Australia. I'm not sure who says mate and nanna, but nanna, but in the U.S. this law would be, you technically are not obligated to give your significant other any money, and they're actually they don't have any right to it unless you use it for something that contributes to your spouse. So if you pay your house off, your spouse you use your money for that house, and they get part of the assets. And I'm pretty sure even the money itself can now be in question for 50-50. So you literally have to use it for none of your significant other's benefit. So if you buy a car, they can't be on it. If you buy a new thing for yourself, it's only for you, right? Like literally you can't share that, asset in name with your significant other if you want to keep yourself separate, which, I would, if I were her, not use those assets for anything to benefit, your significant other for a little bit.
Yeah.
And figure yourself out financially before you commit to a marriage, because you're not even married yet. Especially with this person assuming that they can pay off all their credit cards, and then this person's like, oh, you're my financial burden, when you are a person who's saying that you're accumulating all this debt. You can't manage your credit card debt, obviously, and I know credit cards can get out of hand, but this person can't manage their credit card debt, and assuming that you're gonna get this money, why would you want, to give them that money? That obviously irresponsible with their money. Yeah. Or, I mean, not technically, I guess anything can happen and you can go on credit card debt and it's okay. But in this scenario where he just assumes that he could take the money, then I would just be very wary. I'm not sure your relationship, how good he is outside. He's kind of doing a couple like weird gaslighting things, like how you're going to be the financial burden and like already assuming that the money is his. And I know it's kind of a weird like gray zone because you are getting married, and in some instances people do share everything and they have no sweat sharing maybe inheritance money, which is okay. And I do believe that sharing is good, especially in relationships where you're very comfortable and been together a long time and built each other up. But
yeah,
in this case, I think maybe getting some legal advice, financial legal advice in your home country, probably the best course of action. And then I would definitely iron this out. I mean, she said 2025 they're married, so they got a whole year to iron this out. If I were her, I would iron this out, figure this financial, and you have to communicate with your significant other, right? They are your fiance, so you got to let them know, be like, hey, I got this financial advice. I do not plan on allowing this money to be used for, you. I'm going to keep it for myself. It could be a backup plan, or it could be for your future retirement, right?
Your children.
Or your children's college, right? So, that's what I would do. Definitely some weird red flags coming from the male fiance.
Yes.
But I can't totally fault him because, I feel like a lot of people would assume that they would share, especially if you're getting married. I feel like a lot of people would assume that money would be going to both of you.
Yes.
But the vacation thing seems kind of odd. I don't know if he meant, he will pay for the vacation, which is obviously not happening, right? I would be like, what the as a scenario, I'd be like, if you had debt and then you're like paid off all your debt and then you're like, I'm paying for vacation with all your family's inheritance. No, No, yeah, I mean, if you ask,
Well, he
If-
didn't
if
even say like a trip with her and like all of them together, right?
yeah,
He was just like
Just-
the boy.
yeah, he just assumed. He didn't ask, and like maybe if you ask, be like, hey, we just we're gonna keep it to a low amount, maybe like a couple thousand, like $2,000, a quick trip. We're just gonna go with the boys and watch a game. We're gonna go watch a soccer match or something like that. That okay, maybe you're asking, that's fine, but like you're just assuming and just hyping up your boys, and then I can get why he'd be upset that they were yelling in front of the friends, because I am very private too, so I wouldn't like that. I'm getting embarrassed, but yeah, I mean, obviously not the asshole. I'm definitely on the girl's side here. She definitely needs legal advice from a financial or marital lawyer, law, whatever it is in her country, and then she needs to communicate with their significant other and be like, hey, you're not gonna be a part of this money, or this is my plan for it, and and if she doesn't want to share, that's okay. But if she doesn't, then she needs to communicate that before they get married, because that could end the marriage real quick.
Yes.
Money is a huge issue. One of the top reasons people get divorced. Money is hard to deal with, and I get it. Money can be frustrating and can be difficult to talk about. But yeah, obviously I'm on her side. What do you think?
Okay, so first of all, I think that she definitely, if she wants to continue, like, the relationship, the engagement, whatever, she definitely needs to get him to sign a prenup or something, because I'm a little concerned for her financially.
I guess I didn't think of the prenup. That's true.
Yeah. If, I'm sure they have prenups in other countries, and
yeah, I'm sure
they're able to.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? The laws could be very different. They could be more liberal, so you might need a prenup to prevent the co-location or his claim to whatever money she gets.
Yes, exactly. So first of all,
if she wanted to do that,
protect herself, because marriages end 50% of the time.
Well, that's the United States statistics. We don't know of the other countries. It could be higher, it could be lower. Who knows?
Yeah, I know. So that would be my first thing. Also, it's really weird how, yes, I agree with you that she was being gaslit as being a burden.
Yeah, kind of weird. That's an odd choice of words.
Yes.
Like, is that like
financial
undertoning
burden.
Something, and maybe we're looking too deep into it. But that seems like an odd choice of words. Like, why is she the burden if she's also contributing financially to your? I don't know if they live together, but like
or like their arrangement.
Yeah, and maybe they do live together, and I just glossed over it. There's a lot of writing in this.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
No, it's okay. But it's not okay. But
it's in a conversational way, not a lecture-y way.
I know. But I also would have to say that he's kind of giving me like red flags already. So I would try not to rush things. I would try to do some counseling if you still want to continue the red flags, but screaming at your partner and when like things are escalating, screaming at each other is never okay. Like putting your hands on your significant other is never okay. Like if things and emotions are heightened, then you really need to step back and take a breather, like go to separate rooms or whatever needs to happen to de-escalate the situation. But I am highly concerned that there was already a screaming match, because verbal abuse is a thing.
It's not necessarily, there's nothing in this that screamed verbal abuse to me. It was more disagreement in his assumption that he had some type of access, or that the money was going to be his. Even no, that's not how it works.
Well, for me, like intimidation is still abuse. Like
yeah, but it didn't sound like you know, it didn't sound like they were doing verbal abuse, you know?
Yeah.
It didn't sound like that in that way. To me.
To you. Okay. To me, I'm like already a little concerned about that because this is the person that you're gonna spend the rest of your life with, and like de-escalation really needs to be a priority in a relationship. Of course, emotions again are gonna be heightened at times, but just being able to take a step back and put your partner first by not wanting to hurt them, because I know plenty of people that when they are hurting, they want to hurt you back, and they will say whatever they need to say to hurt you the most. So it's like, calm down before you speak or let anything roll off the tongue, whatever that saying is. But yeah, that's my thoughts. And
I was gonna point out something that I read.
what?
Hold on, let me go through real quick. Yeah, kind of tuck up. And he necessarily didn't say that he was going to use the money for the trip. I'm rereading it. He just paid the credit card off. But I mean, might be a slight assumption, you know.
I feel like it was implied. Like, let me see. What did it say? Yeah. With that money made, we can finally get that boys' holiday we've been planning.
Oh, yeah, I read over that. Okay, so that definitely sounds like he wants to use it. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a no.
It's implied. Sure, it's an assumption, but it wouldn't be.
It kind of sounds like he's assuming he can use the money for that. I would be like, non-stop, brother. No way. I'd be like, no. You think you're gonna pay for you and your boys' trip with this? And no, not happening. Now, if you were to ask, be like, hey, you know, I got like, I don't know how much credit card debt he has. I don't know what the average is wherever he is, but here it's quite high.
Yeah.
So. And she said she got a lot, but if he would have asked, been like, hey, you know, I know you got this money from your family. It would really help me out if you were able to, you know, pay a portion or all of the credit card debt I have. It would really alleviate a lot of stress on me. I know we don't have to. Maybe it could be for the wedding. You know, it doesn't have to be right now, right? It could just be, you know, eventually.
Yeah.
I feel like if he would have asked, there would have been no conflict. There could have been open discussion. Be like, you know, what do you expect to do with the inheritance? Are we gonna, you know, share it, or do you want to keep it for yourself? Or, you know, how do you feel? It would make me happy, and maybe he could agree to be like, hey, I will sign a prenup for the money, and if you feel like helping me with my credit card, I would really appreciate that. And you know, I love you as my significant other, right? Instead, obviously, that's not what happened. I don't know why I just started coughing. I almost died for no reason.
You choked on your saliva.
Yeah. Okay, so
to me, the red flag was just like how he was trying to gaslight her, and to me, it's not really like he's looking out for them as a couple. It's more so like he's looking out for him and his boys, like Saturdays for the boys vibes is what I'm getting from that. Because he didn't say, oh, I'm gonna have the ability to take my girl on a really nice vacation, like, or something like that, you know?
Oh, for sure, sounding selfish, for sure. Yes. I think, you know,
he's just showing off for his boys.
If you got a big inheritance, I would not assume any acts. What I would do, actually, is that since we are already okay in our life right now and secure, I would want you to hold it, right, for your future, no matter what. But we don't know their situation. So, anyways, that's pretty much that whole part. We'll go on to the first comment and see what they have to say.
Okay, so top comment is from username euphoric_travel2541, and it says, "Not the asshole. I have had the same response, OP. Your Nana left that money to you and you alone. She undoubtedly wanted you to have it for your security and for things for your future. As an inheritance, it isn't something he is able to share without your permission. If you divorced, he would not be able to claim it. It would be considered part of your mutual resources. What is very worrisome is that this man heard about your inheritance and immediately bragged to his friends about his credit card and his weekend with the boys. Nothing about mutual plans for you and he could make." What?
It's a mistype.
Okay. Sorry about that. Can't read. I lost my place now.
Nothing about mutual plans for you guys, like a mortgage or down payment. I also think it's a huge red flag that he called you a future financial burden. With a good paying job you aren't. He claims what is yours is his, and he's wrong about that. I think you need to think twice, 3 times, and 4 times about marrying this man who's more worried about being embarrassed in front of his buddies than he is upsetting you with his wrong and selfish assumptions.
Mm-hmm.
He is the selfish one, not you. Please don't marry this guy. You can and should do better. You are a better human being. I'm going to push a little back on the statement. This person is assuming a lot. So this person, she just got off of a fight, this dude. She yelled at him when he was playing games with the boys instead. And, I get it. When you randomly get yelled at, he might just, he could be the type of person who, doesn't know what's going on, and then he also reacts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know how their communication is. You can't assume this guy sucks. Right, he did make some selfish assumptions, right, and that doesn't make him look like a tool. And there's nothing to assume that he's more worried of being embarrassed in front of his buddies, especially when she came in and started yelling at him. I know it was because of what he said, but she could have addressed it later on in a quieter conversation. Instead of coming and, when he was talking with his friends, not trying to give him a pass, but starting off by yelling obviously isn't going to set yourself up for success in communicating that that's not happening, right? Right. So communication in the right context is very important. So I'm not going to assume this guy sucks like that. I'm obviously not a big fan of his ideas already because he's, assuming, already telling his boys, which is not a good sign. But, the rest of it, she's going over and then telling this lady not to get married. Now, which seems a little over the top, right? After one fight, and this person is a little, trick delivery, a little drastic. Terrible. This person is not in a good relationship, never had a good relationship, and they're probably life with this response. All right. What probably should be happening as a grown adult is do everything we literally talked about before. Talk to a financial advisor, see what you want to do with the money, and then communicate with your significant other. And if it's going to be a breaking point and he wants access to it right away, and you don't want to do that, then okay, well then maybe you need to rethink the proposal and marriage and planning, right? Yeah. And you got to make it clear that that's just not what you want to do. This person is definitely drastic, a little over the top for sure. What do you think?
Okay, I see your point to where she came at him, and I kind of got blinders on when it comes to women a little bit. I'm like, yep. Get him.
I believe it. I believe her.
I'm on her side. So I can kind of see well, no, I can definitely see how her communication might have created the hostility and escalation. So that's my input there. And then for the controversial comment, username trick_delivery4609, not the asshole. Your nana and grandpa not only gave you a nice inheritance, but also a blessing that you found out exactly what your soon-to-be ex is like. Believe him when he is telling you this. Do not marry him. Do not let him apologize for this or love bomb you. He will be a control freak with money and probably wants you to be a stay-at-home mom or something. Break up. Find someone who would make your nana and grandpa proud. You deserve much better.
All right, obviously there's going to be a trend here, right?
No, this was the controversial comment.
It was downvoted?
People don't like when other people are saying like, oh, this is doomed to fail, or...
Yeah, because dude, people are so... Dude,
drastic.
Redditors, I know people like to, people comment on it, but if you've been on Reddit before, like, people are so...
I think
extra.
I think there are people who are genuinely trying to, like, they see the red flags, and so...
Yeah, but
they wish that they would have seen those red flags.
You get a tiny snippet of a story, right? And there are red flags, but you don't know what's going on. She came in and started yelling at him. And I'm not advocating for this dude assuming he's taking her money. That's not right. Obviously, I already told you this.
Yes, we covered it.
But, we gotta speed this one up. But, like, you can't jump the gun here. You don't know the relationship. Obviously, he could have been upset because she just started blasting him when he was playing the games with his boys. And he could have been, like, when you start randomly getting yelled at by your significant other, not everyone's going to react the same. People are going to get upset. Some people will get upset. Some people will be, like, stunned, right? You don't know, what's going on, right? And,
have I ever randomly just...
You're not much of a yeller, so... But, I mean, and people are like, don't marry him, and like, what?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, leave him already. Leave! I'm like, whoa, chill. You don't know the relationship. He could have, like, saved her from a fire,
Okay.
And that's obviously silly, but you don't know someone's relationship. Obviously, he is showing signs of some weird, like, obviously, like, weird stuff, and maybe she needs to rethink and address those. But, that... money, because money can do weird stuff to people. Yeah. So we don't know what the relationship is like, and maybe he's bad with money, and this could be a wake up sign for her. Yeah. But I think that's for them to find out. If anything, I would like a follow up post from this person to figure out what she decided to do, because this one's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah. I like it.
But yeah, I mean people are going a little too far.
Yeah.
But she should also be careful.
Yes.
Obviously, don't listen to Redditors.
Protect yourself.
But protect yourself
financially.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, it is your inheritance. Your significant other doesn't have automatic, dibs on it. But, if you want to do that, then that's up to you. That's the person you want to be with the rest of your life, share your money. And it's up to you. But if, someone they're like the person in your story, then maybe you rethink it a little.
Yeah. Okay. So last...
We got 30 seconds.
Not the asshole. He wants to spend your money on his friends and called you a burden. Be thankful this has happened so you can get out now. Get out. Get out. And this is by slow_orange_239. Okay, and now for the follow-up question to the audience. Should an inheritance received by one partner in a relationship be considered joint money? Or is it solely the property of the recipient?
I'll answer it for you. It depends.
Let us know down in the comments. And then, how would you navigate a situation where your partner expects to benefit from your inheritance and sees it as shared finances?
Yeah, let us know down in the comments and show us your feet.
Well, hold on. But you can answer that one since this one does apply to you.
This one?
No, not the question, not the story.
What was the question again?
How would you navigate a situation where your partner expects to benefit from your inheritance and sees it as shared finances?
Yeah, what do you mean? The same for this story. I don't think.
Maybe.
I'll think about it. Yeah, we'll see. Who knows? Maybe I retire early. I'm kidding. I'd rather my family be here than get inheritance.
But he's like, get out.
Alright, get out. Alright, see you later.
No longer laughing.
Alright, do the ending. The outro.
I don't remember.
El outro.
Let me see.
What do you mean? Just say.
It's been a while.
I don't remember what it was either. Amber alert.
I hate it here.
I'm hungry.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Okay.
Alright, bye.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more episodes. Drop your comments, suggestions, and thoughts on these stories. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep on living.